For more than 300,000 years, that was the reality for every human ancestor who ever lived. Half of their existence unfolded in near-total darkness. They had no candles for most of that time, no reliable way to push back the night beyond whatever flames they could keep alive. So what did they actually do during those long, empty hours? The answer is not what most people assume. It was not simply sleep. It was not silence. And it was not the same as anything we experience today. What happened after sunset shaped human culture, storytelling, and even the structure of our sleep in ways we are only beginning to understand. Fire changed the equation first. The earliest clear evidence of controlled fire comes from Wonderwork Cave in South Africa, dating back roughly 1 million years. Before that, our ancestors behaved like every other primate. When the sun dropped, they climbed into trees or found shelter and stayed completely still. Moving at night meant becoming prey. Leopards, hyenas, and wolves could see in the dark far better than we ever could. A campfire created a circle of safety roughly 30 feet across. Inside that circle, predators stayed away. Outside it, the risk rose sharply. Modern studies of hunter-gatherer groups still show that people who wander from the fire at night face real danger from animals. Fire did more than protect, though. It added usable hours to every day. Before fire, the active period ended at sunset, sometimes as early as 8 hours in winter. After fire, 2 to 4 extra hours appeared each evening. Those extra hours mattered across thousands of generations. They gave humans time that no other primate had. In 2014, anthropologist Polly Wiesner published a landmark study in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences. She spent years documenting conversations among the Jew/Honzi Bushmen of the Kalahari, one of the last groups living a lifestyle close to our deep past. During daylight, roughly 80% of talk was practical. People discussed hunting routes, plant locations, complaints, and daily logistics. Daytime speech was work. At night, around the fire, everything shifted. 81% of conversations became stories. People told tales of distant lands, adventures, myths about the world's origins, and jokes that made the whole camp laugh. Wiesner argued that these firelit talks were where human culture truly formed. The campfire became the original theater, classroom, and gathering place. It was where people learned to imagine things beyond the immediate present and to pass knowledge across generations. Stories did not just entertain. They built shared identity and taught survival lessons that daylight work could not cover. Without those extra hours, that layer of culture might never have developed. The night was not only about stories. Something else happened that science only confirmed in recent decades. Ancient humans did not sleep the way we do now. In 2001, historian Roger Ekirch published research after 16 years of digging through historical records. He found more than 500 references across centuries, prayer books, court documents, diaries, medical texts, and even passages in Homer's Odyssey, all mentioning the same pattern. People experienced first sleep and second sleep. They went to bed shortly after sunset, slept about 4 hours, woke naturally for 1 or 2 hours, then returned to sleep until dawn. This was not insomnia. It was normal. During the wakeful period, people visited neighbors, interpreted dreams, conceived children, wrote, or simply lay in the dark and thought. A 16th century French physician recommended using that window for conception because couples would perform better. A medical manual from the 1500s called the quiet hours between sleeps the best time for study and reflection. Translators had ignored these references for centuries because the idea of segmented sleep did not match modern experience. Then science caught up. In 1992, psychiatrist Thomas Ware at the National Institute of Mental Health ran a simple experiment. He removed all artificial light from volunteers' lives for a month, giving them 14 hours of darkness each night. Within weeks, every participant settled into the same rhythm. 4 hours of sleep, 1 to 3 hours of quiet wakefulness, then 4 more hours of sleep. No one instructed them. Their bodies simply returned to the ancient pattern. Ware measured their hormones during the wakeful period and found elevated prolactin, the same hormone released during meditation. Participants described feeling peaceful and reflective. It was not a gap between sleeps. It was its own distinct state of consciousness. Artificial light erased this pattern. Street lamps appeared in the 1600s. Cheaper candles and gas lights followed in the 1800s. Thomas Edison's electric bulb in 1879 spread rapidly. Within a generation, the complete darkness humans had known for 300,000 years disappeared. The word curfew itself comes from the French couvre-feu, meaning cover fire. Medieval towns rang bells at night, telling people to extinguish flames, not just for safety, but because night was meant to be dark. Being out after dark without a lantern was often illegal. Night belonged to danger and the unknown. Modern humans now face artificial light for 7 or 8 hours after sunset. Blue light from screens suppresses melatonin, the hormone that signals sleep. The body cannot tell a bulb from the sun. 1 week of camping without artificial light resets melatonin cycles by nearly 2 hours. The ancient program reasserts itself quickly. We did not just change sleep timing. We removed an entire phase of human consciousness. The quiet, reflective state between first and second sleep no longer exists for most people. What we call insomnia may sometimes be the body remembering its original rhythm. For 300,000 years, our ancestors spent their nights in a pattern modern science is only beginning to map. They gathered around fires and told stories that built shared worlds. They slept in 2 phases with a window of calm reflection between them. They lived under skies so dark the Milky Way was simply the sky above them. Every night, when they woke in the dark between sleeps, they lay in silence and thought about their lives, their dreams, and the morning ahead. We traded that entire experience for a light switch. Most of us never realized what disappeared.